And we welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen, after a thrilling 2-hour and 35-minute back and forth affair. We're set to do it one more time here from Jacksonville, Florida at the Pruitt Softball Complex, coast to coast and around the world. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Victor Anderson set to recap all the moving parts that took place in Game 1 and at the same time set the stage what will be a very thrilling Game 2 between these two foes. The game started pretty quietly. Both teams had their chances early on in the first couple of innings, mainly with Jacksonville. They had first and second with two. The bases low. They had first and second with 2 outs, but Jalen Adams was able to get a fielder's choice to end the inning. The second inning was more the same, with both teams not being able to get anything across. Iowa struck first in the top half of the third inning. Torrey Bennett started off the inning with the walk after moving over on a error from Sujin Berry that allowed Bennett to advance. Devin Bowman poked 2-out single through the left side to bring home Bennett to get the Hawkeyes a 1-0 lead. That's where we stayed until the bottom of the fourth, and that's where the game started to get a little squirrely. 2 quick outs were recorded. Daisy Watterson got a walk. Skyline Pogue, who came into the game as a defensive replacement for Hannah Lindsay, appeared to put a strike right in front of second base with Jenna Young, who applied the tag. But in the process, the ball got kicked out of Jenna Young's glove, and the cleat of Watterson accidentally hit Young on the left side of her face. Young had to leave the game temporarily. Then Tatum McCool came to the plate, poked a single up the middle. Grace Baines made a beautiful throw to appear to cut down Watterson to end the inning, but Christine Littlefield, the home plate umpire, stuck out the left arm to signal obstruction was called, and the runner was ruled safe. The game was tied up at 1. The Hawkeye faithful none too pleased about that call. Then Jacksonville got the lead back with 2 runs across in the bottom of the 5th with an RBI single by Lindsey Chadwick, and then a rundown with some miscues by the Iowa defense, with the pinch runner coming over all the way from third to score, and that put the Dolphins up 3-1. Iowa bounced back with a big 6th inning. Started with a Devin Bowman walk. She got lifted for a pinch runner in the form of Devin Simon. Briley Klosterman reached on an error from the second baseman Allison Bretek. Then Grace Baines got a 2-run single to right field and advanced to second on the throw, and Iowa tied things up at 3-3. Out went the starting pitcher Shelby Harp, and came in the left-handed Aussie Ashley Harwood. Harwood gave up the 2-run single to Baines to tie things up at 3. Then Riley Moss lined out sharply to right field. Baines had to retreat back to third, tagged up, and still scored underneath the throw. Iowa took the lead 4-3. The Hawkeyes got another run back on an RBI single that hit off the left shoulder of the first baseman Lindsey Chadwick. Jenna Young, who came back in the game, won the race to the base. That allowed Torrey Bennett to score, and the Hawkeyes took the lead 5-3. Haley Ojo came in relief of Jalen Adams. Ojo was electric, 5 strikeouts in 2 innings of work. Although Jacksonville made her work, particularly in those 2 innings. Jacksonville got first and second with 1 out. Ojo got back-to-back strikeouts from Hawkeyes and Allison Bretek to get the Hawkeyes the 5-3 lead going into the 7th. Then, after the Hawkeyes went scoreless in the top half of the 7th inning, Jacksonville threatened again. They had the bases loaded with 1 out. Ojo buckled down, struck out McCool looking on the dirty changeup, and got Jazz Jones to swing on a pitch that broke outside to pick up her 5th strikeout and preserve the Hawkeye victory 5-3. A game that took 2 hours and 36 minutes. It had a ton of twists and turns. We will see what Game 2 has in store for us. We're scheduled to start at about 5:45-ish. Needless to say, the Hawkeye side is very loose and energetic and fueling up on snacks in between games, while the Dolphins are doing some extra work in the cage beyond the third base side to get themselves locked in for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Hawkeye baseball on the way as they are battling versus Virginia. We'll give you an update on that when we have an opportunity to do so. Hawkeyes coming off a tough loss last night versus Auburn, game that started at 9:30 Eastern time here in Jacksonville. After that game got delayed 2.5 hours due to weather, they got that game in. While, of course, softball, as you're aware, had their planned doubleheader versus North Florida canceled. They will play one game at the UNF softball complex tomorrow afternoon to wrap things up in the UNF JU Classic. Baseball right now with Virginia early going as a part of the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic. Hawkeyes with a early 2-0 lead. Tello with a 2-run triple down the right field line to get the Hawkeyes on the board early. And the Hawkeyes trying to get themselves a 1-1 start to the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic. John Evans will have to call for you there on the Hawkeye Radio Network, as that game is taking place just 15 minutes away from us at 121 Financial Ballpark near the heart of downtown Jacksonville. Women's basketball back in action tomorrow afternoon and a sold-out card for Hawkeye Arena as they'll look for get back on the winning side of the ledger as they'll take on the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Rob Brooks and Tiff Reedy will have the action for you on the Hawkeye Radio Network and on Sirius XM Channel 84. If you want to watch the game on FS1, make sure you sync the video to the call of Rob and Tiff, who will have that for you from Iowa City as Caitlin Clark and company look to get themselves back on the winning ledger. And by the way, as I just give you an update on baseball, the boys has put a crooked number in the bottom of the first. The Hawkeyes got a run scored on a wild pitch, and Huckstroy with the 3-run home run tonight have broken it open against the 14th-ranked Cavaliers. Hawkeyes with the touchdown, sans the extra point. They're up 6-0 as we head into, as there's still one out. There's, by the way, nobody out in the bottom of the first inning, as the Hawkeyes are having their way with the Virginia starter Jack O'Connor. Hawkeyes the designated home team for this matchup today. And Morgan getting the ball for the black and gold, off to a great start. And Iowa softball looks to do the same thing here versus Jacksonville in game 2 of our doubleheader. We'll take a quick break. We'll give you the lineups and get you set for first pitch here from Jacksonville. And as a matter of fact, we get the lineups freshly printed out to us right now. First, we'll give you the lineup for the Hawkeyes with Coach Renee Gillespie. No real changes for the Hawkeyes in terms of their batting order for 1 through 8. It'll be Young, Berry, Bowman back at the top of the order. Jenny Young will end at the start at shortstop. Sujin Berry will start at second base, and Devin Bowman will be the DP at third as the Hawkeyes are dancing and having themselves a good old time. Bradley Klosterman is not. I don't know if they are officially swag surfing, and Bradley Klosterman is observing very tightly over to outside of the circle. They are at the first base box to our right. Klosterman, Baines, Moss 4, 5, and 6. Diaz, Bennett, and Greer 7, 8, and 9. Devin Greer will be the pitcher, hitting in the 9th spot. Skyland Pogue will be in the flex position during the catching. For Jacksonville, it'll be Madison Braytech, Madison Reynolds, Allison Braytech, the top of the order. Allison Carter, Kari Holtricker will be, and Kaylee Harrigan, 4, 5, and 6. Watterson, Point Bryant, and Kern, 7, 8, and 9. Skylar Wagner will get the ball as the pitcher, making start number 6 of this season for the Jacksonville Dolphins. Hawkeyes in the gold tops, Iowa in black, trim with white in the black and gold pinstripe pants. Jacksonville will be in the home white. Jacksonville with the green and the old gold trim. Leading off and playing center field, number 6. The Dolphins with an opportunity to break things open and get themselves a doubleheader sweep. Hawkeyes now 3-0 with the gold tops this season. So they're looking to make it 4-0 on the season. Wagner
The right fielder, number 14,
comes in with this season 1-3 with a 3.27 ERA. She has pitched a team-leading 30 innings, saw 37 hits, 18 runs, 14 of them have been earned. Walked 9, struck out 16. Opponents are batting .322 against the left-hander.
Batting ninth, the catcher, number 23, Hallie Kern. In the circle for the Dolphins, number 28, Skylar Wagner.
Wagner's last appearance came versus Harvard yesterday. She got the start, pitched 4 innings, gave up a run on 3 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. Her outings have been a bit of a mixed bag. She pitched well versus Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. 3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Her best outing by far was against Fordham in the season opening tournament. Pitched 5 innings, didn't give up 5 innings of perfect softball, walked 1, struck out 4. If she's on early, she'll definitely give the Hawkeyes a tough look in Game 2 of this doubleheader. And, of course, Devin Greer comes in third in the Big Ten with a .62 earned run average. She'll be making her 3rd start of the season. So here's Jenna Young. First pitch to Jenny Young is down and inside for ball 1. First pitch, 5:42 Eastern Time. Glad that you're with us. Wherever you may be listening, coast to coast and around the world, on the Hawkeye Radio Network from Duval, Canada, Davenport, and all points in between. Glad that you're with us on this Saturday afternoon. Victor Anderson hollering at you from the Pruitt Softball Complex, and Jenny Young takes a strike to even up the count 1-1. Young in Game 1 went 1 for 3. Had that big infield RBI single to pad the Hawkeye lead to 2, which proved to be the difference. Little flip, and I'll go into the waiting glove of Allison Braytek, who makes the catch, 1 down.
The third baseman, number 11, Sujin Berry.
So Sujin Berry at the dish now. Sujin reached on an air in Game 1. Went 0 for 4. Now hitting .296. First time Sujin has hit below 300 in her early Hawkeye career. Takes that one low and outside, ball 1. Hawkeyes took Game 1 earlier today, 5-3, in what was a very entertaining ball game here in Jacksonville. First time these two teams have met on a softball diamond. This is away. Sujin ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Sujin celebrated a birthday earlier this week. Get to play back in her home state in a couple of weeks, as the Hawkeyes spring break trip would take them out west. Sujin gets jammed, and then will end in the glove of Madison Braytek. So Big Six picks up out number 1, and the younger sibling gets out number 2. So 2 down for Devin Bowman. Devin got the Hawkeyes on the board with her RBI single with 2 outs back in that 3rd inning. Went 1 for 3. Reached base twice. First pitch swing high off the net and foul. Nice job behind the plate by Hallie Kern, who's doing the catching this afternoon. Kevin Wallace calling the balls and strikes. Then Pappendick's over at first. Christine Littlefeld at third. Foul tip, Kern cannot hang on to it. Now it's 0-2. Scoreless in the top of the first. Skylar Wagner in the circle for the Jacksonville Dolphins, trying to salvage the Saturday split. Bowman back to Wagner. Turns, makes the easy toss to Harrigan, and that retires the Hawkeyes in order.
First with JU coming to bat.
Hawkeyes go down in order.
I've seen some friends and get in the game.
Dolphins will be up with their first Swains versus Devin Greer when we come back to Jacksonville. You're listening to Iowa Softball from Learfield. Back to Jacksonville, Devin Greer set to make her third start of the season. Devin so far in 2024. Record of 1-2 with a .62 ERA, 11 in the third innings of work, 8 hits, 5 runs, only 1 earned. Walked 4, struck out 4. Opponents are batting 186 against her. Defense kind of let her down last weekend versus Southern Illinois.
Number 6, Madison Braytech.
She pitched well enough to get a chance to get the Hawkeyes to win. Gave her 3 unearned runs, walked 2 and struck out 2 as the Hawkeyes fell to the Salukis in the spring games, 4-1. Madison Braytech to the plate, leading off for the Dolphins in the bottom of the first, and his ball's behind 0-2. Madison in game 1 went 1 for 4. Now 1 came back in the 6 off of Jaylee Ojo. Shot gets inside Sujin Berry and down the left field line. And Madison Braytech will motor into second and will have to settle for a double. Braytech hustle out of the box all the way and is rewarded with the 2-bagger. Braytech's second double on the season, and here comes Madison Reynolds. Reynolds appeared as a pinch runner in game 1 of the doubleheader. First time she did not start in 2024. Shows bunt, goes outside, ball 1. The rest of the Jacksonville lineup, Allison Braytech hitting 3rd. Allison Carter hitting cleanup. Kari Holstricker will hit 5th. Kaylee Harrigan, the first baseman, will hit 6th. Daisy Watterson will hit 7th. Cassidy Point Bryant hitting 8th. And Hallie Kern will play catcher, will hit in the number 9 spot. Ball and a strike to Reynolds. Reynolds this year hitting .217, 5 of 23, does have 3 runs scored. Reynolds shows bunt again, and a great catch by Sujin Berry. Braytech had to scramble back to second. Nobody was covering. So here comes Allison Braytech. Hawkeye defense, you know it by the back of your hand for this point in time. As Allison Braytech comes to the plate. First pitch, cast outside for a strike. The outfield, Riley Moss in right. Grace Baines in center. Riley Klosterman in left. Sujin Berry at 3rd. Jenna Young at short. Tori Bennett at 2nd. Sammy Diaz at 1st. Skyline Pogue behind the plate doing the catching for Devin Greer. And Greer has the count even and the ball and the strike to Braytech. Devin 3rd in the Big Ten with a .62 ERA. He's only allowed 4 earned runs and 11 and 2/3 innings of work. That one gets lifted out of play. He's to count 1-2. Looking at Devin's progression as a pitcher from her freshman year, 719 and 22 appearances in 2022. Only made 12 appearances last year, but her ERA was shaved in half to 3.41. Went 4-2 last season. And now, and gets a swing and a miss of Allison Braytech, picks up her first strikeout. And And of course, in 2024, we mentioned her 1-2 record that won a complete game, 5-inning shutout versus Western Kentucky. Hawkeyes run ruling the Hilltoppers 8-0 in Clearwater. Diaz will get to face the first, and that will end the inning. So Carter retired on the first pitch she swings at, and Devin Greer gives up the leadoff double and nothing after that. Inning complete here in Jacksonville, game 2 of our Twin Bill. Hawkeyes looking for the doubleheader sweep. We're scoreless after 1. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Specializes in acupuncture for pain relief and sports performance. For more information about Shanatry Chiropractic, please visit shanatrydc.com.
Bills and it kills and it thrills like the horns on my Silverado grill. And I buy the bar double round the crown and everybody's getting down in this town. Ain't never gonna be the same.
Top of the second inning. Iowa and Jacksonville scoreless. Victor Anderson back with you here from the Pruitt Softball Complex. Guys, you're with us on this Saturday afternoon on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
The left fielder, number 22, Briley Klosterman.
Iowa baseball off to a phenomenal start, leading 6-0 over Virginia when we last left them over at 121 Financial Ballpark. We'll give you an update there during the second inning. Hard Hawkeye order coming up. Klosterman, Baines, Moss. Riley with a solid game 1. 0 for 4, scored what turned out to be the game-tying run on the Grace Baines 2-run single in the 6th. Riley now hitting .280 in her senior campaign. One, foul tip, and looks like I might have caught Kevin Wallace a little bit. He said, Kevin Wallace said, "Hey, I'm good. I get hit all the time." Exactly what he said. We heard that from up here in the press box. Wilson in liner sinking and caught it short. Nice glove work by Madison Reynolds. 1 down on the Hawkeye second.
The center fielder, number 23, Grace Baines.
So it brings up Grace Baines. Baines, we mentioned that game-tying 2-run single to start off the Hawkeye 6. Against the outside corner does Wagner for strike 1. Grace now hitting .304 this season with 3 runs driven in. That one's hit deep to right. Tracking back as Holviker Schul makes the catch. Foul number 2. That's the furthest ball we've seen hit to the outfield today. Now, granted, the wind is not as gusting as heavily as it was in game number 1.
The right fielder, number 6, Riley Moss.
So 2 down for Riley Moss. Moss, the game-winning sacrifice fly. Riley went 1 for 3 in game 1, and now still hitting .333. Take strike one. Wagner pitching a bulk of the innings only as a freshman for this Jacksonville stab with Erica Ayers. And pitching coach Amanda Haverman. Wagner 5'10" from Vieira High School in Melbourne, Florida. A hop skip away from the home of the USSSA Pride from the WPF. This is on the top shelf, 2-1. Was the 2023 BSN Softball Player of the Year and Team MVP at Vieira. Two balls and a strike. Slow chopper, a little, swing, and Riley Moss will get on base with a 2-out single. That ball hit the front of the bat. It took a very weird spin. And by the time Kern had a chance to get a throw over to Harrigan at first, Moss already had the foot on the bag. So the inning continues for Sammy Diaz. Good looking pitch, called a ball. Hawkeyes trying to strike first like they did in game number one. That one catches a strike. Almost looked like almost the same exact spot. A little couple inches inside this time. Count is even at a ball and a strike. 2 down in the second. Riley Moss with a little 6-foot infield single extends the Iowa inning. Diaz pops it up. It'll be Allison calling off Madison. Great tech makes the catch to retire the Hawkeyes. So the Hawkeyes cannot capitalize on the Riley Moss single. We'll head to the home second, still scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
The latest treatment technology and can get you back on the road to recovery. For more information, visit joionline.net. JOI, official sponsor of JU Athletics.
Yeah. Oh, that's London on the track when that track back. We got London on the track. Swerving. How you look so perfect on your worst days. That will see it cause you deserve it. In your DM, maybe Thursday. In person, but you're curving. Curvy little body like a surface. Yeah. I'ma run your body, make you nervous. I like the way you keep up with your earnings. It's okay, you're swerving. I from the leave you turn it. The type to make you feel like I'm so worth it. Blame my ex that you did me dirty.
Welcome back to Jacksonville. Victor Anderson with you. We're going to the bottom of the second inning. Hawkeyes and Dolphins still scoreless in game 2 of our doubleheader. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Dolphins here in the home second. Holzricker, Harrigan, and Watterson to the plate. While we have a moment, let's give you a quick update from baseball, who are, when last checked, we're running roughshod over number 14 team in the nation at the Jacksonville College Baseball Classic. First pitch gets in for strike one. Hawkeyes still lead 6-0. 2 down in the bottom of the second. John Evans with the call for you. About 15 minutes away over at across the bridge at 121 Financial Ballpark. Some of the Hawkeye fans made their way over last night after softball got canceled and baseball had a 9:30 start. 1-1 gets fouled back towards the batting cages. Officially the Mark and Meredith Fritsch Pavilion. The renovations here in Jacksonville his softball complex. And that one just misses on the outside black, 2-2. This is the first project that was completed as part of Jacksonville's $120 million Aspire campaign. The Fred and Debbie Pruitt softball complex was dedicated back on October the 10th of 2013. Slow roller over to Jenna Young. Feels it on bare hand and still gets it over to Sammy Diaz for out number 1. Great poise and patience shown by the rookie shortstop. Ball handcuffed her. The only chance she had if she barehanded it and made it throw over to first for out number 1.
The first baseman, number 00, Kaylee Harrigan.
So Kaylee Harrigan, who did not appear in game 1, back in the lineup in game number 2. Harrigan, first pitch. It'll be Moss right there, 2 out. Beautiful facility here. 2,200 square foot office building, which is directly behind us. 7,000 square foot covered hitting and fielding pavilion, as we've just referenced over to our left, named the Mark and Meredith Fritsch Pavilion. They actually co-hosted the A-Sun tournament back in 2022 along with their River City rivals. They've co-hosted various in-season tournaments together, like the one the Hawkeyes are participating in this year. On 1 pitch to Watterson, misses upstairs for a ball. Greer gave up the leadoff double to Madison Braytech as a retired 5 straight Dolphins since. Ever steadily lowering that one of the top ERAs in the nation. So work from pitching coach Mandy Gardner-Colgate, her second season at the helm, leading his pitching staff. Great collection of minds by Coach Renee Gillespie. Greer and Bennett were heading towards the first base dugout, but instead it's 2-2. Deuces wild to Waterman, 2 outs here in the second. Hits over to second. Bennett can't get a. Bennett lets that one go through. Bennett had it right there, but just couldn't get that ball in the glove cleanly enough to make that throw to first.
The designated player, number 33, Cassidy Point Bryant.
Cassidy Point Bryant will make her first career start as a designated player. First pitch, Bennett this time gets a second chance right away with a little option pitch to Jenna Young to get the fielder's choice to retire the Dolphins. So the Bennett error not costly.
We remain scoreless. The main event on
Bennett charged with the air, but the runner left on first base. 2 complete. Still scoreless. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
Great food are all under one roof. Main event, proud partner of Jacksonville University Athletics.
We go into the top of the third. Coach Renee Gillespie giving some words to her sophomore second baseman, Tori Bennett. She'll lead off the frame for the Hawkeyes, followed by Devin Greer. Then back to the top of the order, and Jenna Young. Victor Anderson back with you from the Pruitt Softball Complex.
The second baseman, number
Each
1,
team with the hit
Corey
so far in the first 2 innings of play. Very similar start to what we saw in game 1 between the Hawkeyes and the Dolphins. Bennett takes the first pitch and is called a strike, says home plate umpire Kevin Wallace. TB in game 1 went 0 for 1. Reached base twice on walks and scored twice. Her batting at her on-base percentage has gone up significantly. And her batting average should go up as well. And that was a low throw. Picked off first base. So Bennett will have an infield single.
5, Devin Greer.
So here comes Devin Greer hitting in the 9th spot. Devin 2 for 12 this season, does have an RBI. High and outside, ball 1. That RBI for Devin came against Western Kentucky. That was when the Hawkeyes broke that game open in the middle innings in an 8-0 run rule victory over the Hilltoppers from Conference USA. And Greer smokes that 111. A diving no, that ball got dropped by Carter. Bennett was hit. Bennett was about 2/3 of the way to second base. Carter had it, dropped it, and Torrey was able to coast away the final 15, 20 feet.
The shortstop, number 24, Jenna Young.
So back to the top of the order, and Jenna Young. A tough break for the Dolphins. Instead of what it could have been a possible double play. Instead, it's first and second, no out. Young, first pitch, hit to left. Carter with another opportunity. Makes the catch. She hangs onto it this time, but enough for Bennett to tag up to third. So one down.
The third baseman, number 11.
A couple of Dolphin
Susan
fans
Berry.
thought that Bennett may have left early, and no one's gonna make an appeal to second base. Kind of surprised about that, but nonetheless, here comes Susan Berry. And now with that pitch that was thrown for a strike, they can no longer make an appeal to see if Bennett left from second early. Susan flew out to center in the first. As a car honks and Susan swings the ball foul. Timeout called, and we're going to see a pinch runner at first base. Will be Echo Mattiello running at first for Devin Greer. So Mattiello will run at first. Jacksonville resetting their plan defensively with the new. Oh, and 2 to count. Oh, and 2 to count. Mattiello in motion. Berry goes down swinging. They'll cut off the throw short in front of second. So Berry strikes out, 2 outs. Runners now at second and third. And it'll bring up Devin Bowman.
The designated player, number 95, Devin Bowman.
So Bowman again with the chance, just like in game 1, to not get a run with 2 outs. First pitch, little flip, and it'll be just out of the outfield, but right there is the shortstop. Reynolds.
No runs
And that
for
will
the
end the inning.
Hawkeyes in
So the
the bottom of
Hawkeyes
the
pick
third,
up back-to-back
bottom of
singles,
three,
but cannot
yards
capitalize. No runs on 2 hits, 2 Hawkeyes left on
And
base.
Bonos, it's not
We'll
just
head to the
about
home
serving
third,
great
still
food, it's about
scoreless. This
providing
is
the most
Hawkeyes softball
authentic,
from
traditional
Learfield.
Southern barbecue experience you've ever had. Bonos Barbecue invites you to join them whether it's your first time ever or first time this week. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Bonos Pit Barbecue, official sponsor of JU Athletics.
Devin Greer back in the circle. She'll deal with the 9-1-2 portion of the Dolphin order. Hallie Kern, Madison Braytech, and Madison Reynolds. We are scoreless in the bottom of the third. Victor Anderson back with you from the Pruitt Softball Complex. As the air gets a little crisper, the lights come on a Saturday evening in the most famous county in the world.
The catcher, number 23, Hallie.
There have been various comedians who have highlighted the fact that people say, are you from Jacksonville? No, I'm from Duval County. And everyone knows what you're talking about. Kern fouls that one off the front of the bat for strike 1.
It's like a New Orleans seafood place. It's good. The shrimp po' boys.
Greer allowed a leadoff double to Madison Braytech, and that's the only hit she's surrendered so far. She's ahead 0-2. Iowa Gold Uniforms 3-0 so far in 2024 with the gold uniforms, the black and gold pinstripe pants. Jacksonville in the home white JAX in the front with the gold and green. Swing and a miss, and down goes Kern on strikes. Kern still looking for her first hit of her senior campaign now. An unlucky 0 for 13.
The center fielder, number 6, Madison Braytech.
Here comes center fielder at Madison Braytech. Go back to the top of the Dolphins order.
Christian, you got to time that tiny bit better.
Mentioned Braytech's leadoff double.
Cut it off
It's not one.
before it says, here comes the big one.
Hawkeye defensively, same 7 in the defense we've seen do down the first 9 games of the season. Klosterman, Baines, and Moss left, center, and right. Diaz, Bennett, Young, and Berry first, second, short, and third. Skyland Pogue during the catching this evening for Devin Greer.
This girl doesn't have a hit today, so she's not getting a walk-up song.
Winds starting to pick up briskly, like we saw throughout the duration of game number 1. 2 balls and a strike. Braytech looks at it back intently and steps her right foot in the box in front of the left. The Braytechs have been the 2 most consistent hitters, but along with Kaylee Harrigan, drops out a bunt, and that one's dropped by Bennett. I think she would have been safe regardless of that throw from Greer. It would have been a. Let's drop down that bunt perfectly, right in between Skyland and Devin Greer.
The shortstop, number 3, Madison Reynolds.
So that brings up Madison Reynolds. Inside for strike 1.
Well, she didn't get any base on recognition last year. She was very good.
Reynolds preseason A-Sun selection coming into this year. Coming off a phenomenal 2023. This is on the outside, evens up the count. I mentioned the Dolphins last season won their regular season finale versus North Florida, and thanks to other scenarios, won their way into the A-Sun tournament held in DeLand, Florida. Catches outside for a strike, makes it 1-2. And Erica Ayers in her 7th season at the helm of the Dolphins program.
Come in here knowing what's going on.
An A-Sun conference that
Look how she's going to hit a home run.
could be prime for the taking. Gill misses on the outside edge. Evens up the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See that fourth story out there?
29-20 in 2021. One of the most successful seasons in the era. I almost got away. And that was a similar play in how Jenna Young got a cleat inadvertently in her face. So Reynolds goes down on strikes. Braytech gets the steal. So Madison in scoring position for Allison.
Number 2, Allison Braytech.
Allison picked up the first of the now 3 Greer strikeouts in the first. First pitch will get fouled off towards one of the fans walking behind the Iowa bullpen. Lovely facilities here. You got the dorm rooms just beyond left field. Got the parking garage, straightaway center, various cars for some of the Dolphins fans who are enjoying the games in their tents, their chair backs. Little berm behind left center field where fans are partaking this action this Saturday evening. 0-2 to Allison Braytech with her younger sister at second. Ball goes right in between the legs of Skyland Poe, but finds it quickly to get that, to keep the runner standing at second. 1-2. Good looking pitch, but again called a ball. Two balls and 2 strikes. Right back up the middle past Devin Greer. Third throw to the plate. She avoids the tag. Allison Braytech scored. Allison Braytech drives in Madison, and the Dolphins strike first. It is 1-0. So Allison Braytech with her 7th RBI of the season. Here comes Allison Carter.
Left fielder number 17, Allison Carter.
Only the 5th earned run allowed by Devin Greer this season. Strike 1. So the Hawkeyes will once again have to play from behind. Nice. Pitch misses down low for a ball. Dolphins lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Hawkeye fans starting to get a little antsy over to our right. Allison Carter ahead 2-1 off Devin Greer. Allison Braytech standing at second. This is down and low, 3-1 to count. Three-1 delivery into the hands, foul towards right in front of the Iowa dugout, and it'll be a full count. 3-2. Yeah, pitch. They appeal, they say no swing. Hawkeyes, the right side of the Iowa infield thought that she went after it, but a third base umpire, Christine Littlefield, said no swing.
Number 14, Kari Holzrichter.
Holzrichter now up. First pitch to center. Hayes twins back, makes the catch. So It took an extra pitch, but the Hawkeyes get out of the inning. But not before the Dolphins get on the board. Thanks to Allison Braytek's RBI single, bringing home her younger sister, Madison. 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 2 left. We'll head to the top of the 4th. Hawkeyes again will have to battle from behind. Hawkeyes lead 1-0.
1-0, excuse me.
You're listening to Iowa Softball from Learfield.
At TicketSmarter, we know nothing beats the power and excitement of live events. If you're looking for a smarter way to buy tickets to sports, concerts, and theater, visit TicketSmarter.com or download the app today. Smart fans start at TicketSmarter.com, the official ticket resale marketplace of JU Athletics.
Let's go. Dance floor pro. I know, you know, I go psycho when my new joint hit. Just can't sit. Gotta get jiggy with it. That's it. Honey, come
Back here in Jacksonville to give you an update on the baseball side of things across the bridge. Hawkeyes still lead, but the lead has been trimmed to 6-2. Cavaliers got a pair in the top of the 3rd. Playing at 121 Financial Ballpark. John Evans with the call for you on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Men's basketball suffering a tough road loss today in Champaign versus Illinois. Iowa softball winners in game 1 of the doubleheader today. Trailing 1-0 here in the top of the 4th. Victor Anderson back with you on the Pruitt Softball Complex. Inside for ball 1. Heart of the Hawkeye order. Heart of the Hawkeye order. Excuse me, easy for me to say, due up. Klosterman, Baines, and Moss. Riley lined out to short to lead off the 2nd. Sancho hit a sharp grounder over to second base. Allison Braytek makes the easy throw, 1 down. One run, 3 hits, no errors for the Dolphins. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Hawkeyes. Dolphins have stranded 4. Hawkeyes have left 3. Here's Grace Baines. Baines flew out to right. Her first trip to the plate. And falls behind 0-1. A flip that will fall right in between Braytek and Holzrichter, and Grace Baines with the 1-out single to set the stage for Riley Moss.
The right fielder, number 6, Riley Moss.
Moss hit the ball all of 7 feet in front of home plate, but got herself on base in that second inning. Shows bunt. A strike, and it got Baines at a rundown. And a rundown continues, and now you got the shortstop going in there. And Ains ended up being tagged out. Baines had a chance and she kept running to second to get the stolen base. So it's 0-1 to count, and with 2 outs and the base is empty for Riley Moss.
I did it backwards. I have to do my numbers force. 2, 6, 4, 6, 3, 4, concealing. Leads out at second, catcher to shortstop to second base to shortstop to first base to second base, concealing. Thank you, Stat Crew.
After extra time, we were ready to resume play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Moss has to kind of reset her mentality. They're giving her a big hole in right center field as Madison Braytech has shifted over. Slow roll at the third, and Moss will beat out the throw. And the inning will continue for Iowa for Sammy Diaz. So Riley Moss with two for two of a pair of infield singles.
The first baseman, number 7, Sammy Diaz.
Hey, AK, do you still have the game for
Diaz popped out to second.
okay, I'm just
Takes the first pitch and is given strike 1.
thankfully I wake up.
Dolphins up 1-0, top of the 4th. Riley Moss at first with 2 out.
Yeah, the scripts were printed, I think, Friday. Yeah.
This is outside. Every part of the Hawkeye order reached in that victory in game 1 of the Twin Bill. Diaz had a single in the 6th. She went 1 for 3. Sammy hitting .227. Drops just on the outside edge, 2-1. The pitchers are going to have to adjust with Kevin Wallace's strike zone. Hasn't been given that outside corner to either pitcher so far this evening. 3-1. That literally looked like the same exact spot she threw the 1-1 pitch that got called a ball. So Amanda Haverman and Mandy Gardner-Colgate, the 2 respective pitching coaches, are going to have to adjust their strategy again with this strike zone from Kevin Wallace. 3 balls and a strike. Call a strike and no, safe. Had her out at second. But Braytech could not hang on to it. Full count to Diaz, now with the Riley Moss stolen base. Ball 4. So 2 on and 2 out. Here comes Torrey Bennett.
The second baseman, number 1, Torrey Bennett.
For Torrey, an opportunity to get a bit of redemption. Had an error in this game already, but did single back in the lead off this third. Foul someone off, caught the inside of her left foot of Kern. Oh, 1 to TB1. Moss at second. Diaz at first. Hawkeyes down 1-0 here in the 4th. Skylar Wagner trying to protect that lead. Ground ball over to second. She'll get it there and get it in time. What? Hold on. They say she didn't get on the... Wow. They called Diaz safe at second. Here comes Erica Ayers. Did she... Now they're gonna have a conversation here. Now, from what I saw, it looked like the ball clearly beat Sammy to second base. The only question is, the only thing they can say that it was the foot on the bag in time. It looked like from that vantage point she had the foot on the bag. That ball got knocked down by Allison Braytech. She lost the handle, scooped it up with her glove to Reynolds. They're going to say the call on the field stands, and the Hawkeyes tie it up at 1. What a break for the black and gold. The Dolphin faithful not too happy about that call, and I can understand why. Tied at 1, here comes Devin Greer. Greer, first pitch ground ball. Braytek there, gets to the first, and one pitch a little bit late, but the inning comes to an end, but not before the Hawkeyes tied things up on a fielder's choice hit by Torrey Bennett.
Bottom of 4, we are now tied.
Hawkeyes tied things up at the halfway mark here in Jacksonville. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Bottom of the 4th inning. A couple of Dolphin fans are still upset with the call over at second base that got the Hawkeyes on the board. And if you really think about it, folks, if you were with us in game 1, it was in the 4th inning where Grace Baines made a beautiful relay throw from center field to cut down the runner, but obstruction was called to tie the game up at 1. I agree. So I guess the softball gods take it away and give it back, or in Jacksonville's case, give it and take it away.
The first baseman, number 00, Kaylee Harrigan.
6, 7, 8 coming up. Harrigan, Watterson, and Point Bryant coming to the plate. Tied up at 1, down and inside for ball 1. Victor Henderson back with you here at a very electric Pruitt softball complex. That one will get hit off the complex over to our right. Harrigan flew out to right, back in the second. Harrigan takes that for a strike, falls behind 1 and 2. Hawkeyes have trying to go to 6 and 3 on the season. This is outside 2 and 2. The winning game 1 of the doubleheader clinches their 6th straight season with a winning record in the Sunshine State under Coach Gillespie. They've been winning at a 600 clip in the Sunshine State since Coach Gillespie has taken over as Iowa head coach. They're 43 and 24 in the state of Florida. If you take out the Big Ten pot from 2021 where they played in Leesburg, they're now 36 and 19. And that one gets hammered but will go foul into the pavilion. Devin Greer with new life after the fielder's choice. Tied things up at 1 in the top of the inning. Hit to left center. Klosterman's there, 1 down. So Daisy Watterson now to the plate. Watterson reached on a
Number 55, Daisy Watterson.
Torrey Bennett air to extend to second. Watterson takes the first pitch strike.
By the way, AK, is that Point Bryant or Point Brand? I don't know if you pronounce it right. Okay, I was getting it right. Okay.
1-1 Hawkeyes tie with Jacksonville, bottom of the fourth. Iowa took game 1, 5-3. Upstairs. Count squared, 1-1. Iowa, one of the top teams in terms of ERA in the nation. Second in the Big Ten in ERA coming into this weekend's play with a 1.40 ERA as a staff. Now we'll drop into shallow right field. And Watterson with the one-out single.
Yeah. What up? This is Dr. Dre. The party's going on.
Watterson has found herself a solid ball game. Her first 2 starts, and now has her first career base hit as the Jacksonville Dolphin. So Cassidy Point Bryant will come to the plate.
43, Cassidy Point Bryant.
Point Bryant with her also making her first start of her Jacksonville career. Reached on a fielder's choice, but hit it to a fielder's choice and the second. One gets it on the inside corner, 0-2. Try to get the top shelf, doesn't get the call, missed the location, 1-2. I think if you're Devin right now, just working that lower half of the zone, and again, no, they're not getting that outside corner called. Greer with the 1-2 delivery. Low runner goes. Safe. Nice throw by Skylar Pogue, and Young thought she had the tag there. So Watterson gets the stolen base. Count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dolphins trying to pick up the run back they gave up in the top of the inning. Foul tip. And you see Kevin Wallace quickly signaling foul ball. Two balls, 2 strikes still to count. Allie Kern waits on deck. All gets away, and again a nice stop behind the plate by Skylar Pogue. She's been doing phenomenal work since coming in for Hannah Lindsay in the middle of game 1 behind the plate. Full count. Greer with the payoff. Got one a little fouled off. She's protecting anything inside is the freshman third baseman. And again, a pitch inside, and again, another foul ball. Another 3-2 coming. High chopper now move the runner over. Bennett gets it there to Diaz for out number 2. Go ahead, run 60 feet closer for the Dolphins. So 2 down. Here comes Hallie Kern. Kern still looking for her first hit this season.
Number 23, Hallie Kern.
Kern struck out to lead off the Jacksonville third. Ball one. Kern, a local product from Mandarin High School, in her 5th season with the Dolphin program. Kern is granted time. Runner at third, 2 out. Dolphins tied at 1. So Dolphins team that when it comes to A-Sun play, they will give teams a lot of problems. Central Arkansas, who was in the same leadoff class with Iowa, preseason favorites in the conference. Over to third, Berry gets it to Diaz, and that ends the inning. So Devin Greer gives up the single and leaves a runner stranded
No runs for the
at
Dolphins.
third. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left.
5 tied at 1.
We'll head to the 5th. Tied up at 1. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Lights are on here, the complex. Lights are on inside of a press box. We go into the top of the 5th. The Ira offense trying to put their lights on as well. Looks like we have a couple of changes for the Hawkeyes. Top of the order coming up for the Hawkeyes, Young, Berry, and Bowman. Victor Anderson back here with you.
The shortstop, number 24, Jenna Young.
And it looks like we had a couple of defensive changes for Jacksonville. We'll try and get them to you if we can. First pitch of Jenna Young is called strike. Infield remains the same for the Dolphins. Harrigan at first, Allison Braytek at second, Madison Reynolds at short, Daisy Watterson at third. Young 0 for 2, popped out to second and flew out to right. It's on the outside, count is now 1-1. Hawkeyes Jacksonville got on the board in the bottom of the third. Hawkeyes got a run back on a fielder's choice by Torrey Bennett in the 4th. Young awaits to 1-1. Young will flip and a great diving catch behind third base by Reynolds for out number 1. Beautiful play by Madison Reynolds to rob Jenny Young a sure infield base hit.
The third baseman, number 11, Sujin Berry.
So 1 down, here comes Sujin Berry. Sujin flew out to center and struck out swinging. Sujin swings and misses 0-1. High and outside, evens up the count 1-1. Now it's down outside, 2 balls and a strike. Top of the Iowa order has been struggling today in terms of getting on base. Young and Berry today 0 for 5 in this game. They've reached base twice in game 1 of the doubleheader. Sujin's ahead 3-1 against the left-handed freshman Skylar Wagoner. The Hawkeyes this year surprisingly faced a lot of left-handed hitters, left-handed starters. This is the 5th game that they played, or they faced a starter from the left-hand side of the plate. The Hawkeyes are now 2-2 in such games.
The designated player, number 90.
Berry walks, and here comes Devin Bowman. Bowman 0 for 2. Grounded out back to Wagoner and popped out to short. Devin takes strike 1. Hawkeyes will finish their trip to the Sunshine State with a pair tomorrow. Have a neutral site game at UNF versus Harvard, and then we'll take on the Ospreys. Those games scheduled for 10 a.m. and 12:30 Eastern respectively. That's 9 a.m. and 11:30 Central Time. We'll have both of those games for you here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. And the Hawkeyes will have a midweek game at Wichita State on Tuesday before having some time off and get ready for their spring break trip to California. Oh, what a good stop behind the plate by Kern. These Jacksonville catchers done a nice job of keeping the ball in front of them in these 2 games. Kern today and in game 1, Hawkeyes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bowman will lift that one, and it will almost hit onto one of the windows of the Basketball Performance Center. Bowman to right. Plenty of room. Ostrickers there makes a catch. Ball gets away, and Berry will take the extra 60 feet, says thank you. Cutoff throw sailed away, and Berry will end up at second. So 2 away. And here comes Bradley Klosterman trying to get the Hawkeyes to lead once again. BK 0 for 2. Klosterman takes a strike on the outside half. Tied at 1, top of the 5th, 2 outs. Sujin Berry at second. Klosterman tasked to give the Hawkeyes the lead once again to try and bring in the freshman. And falls behind 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Kosterman. A little bit away for ball 1. BK's had a solid trip to Florida so far. Reached base twice in game 1, trying to do the same in game 2 to bring home Barry. The 1-2 pitch, low, pops off home plate. Barry will move over to third. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Number 22 at the plate for the Hawkeyes. Barry to go ahead run 60 feet closer at third. Wagner with the biggest pitch of the game so far coming up. And gets a bouncer over to second. And that will end the inning, and the Hawkeyes strand an opportunity with Barry at third.
No runs for the Hawkeyes.
Hawkeyes cannot come through. Bottom of the 5th. Hawkeyes and Dolphins tied up at 1. This is Iowa softball from Linfield.
Matchup with the Manhattan Jaspers. First pitch will be at 9 a.m. See you tomorrow morning for more Dolphin softball right here at Pruitt Softball Complex.
Yeah. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? Tired of beefing you bums, you can't even pay me enough to react. Been waking up in the crib and sometimes I don't even know where I'm at. Please don't pay that songs in this party, I can't even listen to that. Anytime that I run into somebody, it must be a victory lap. Hey, shawty come sit on my lap. Hey, they saying Drizzy just snap. This in between us is not like a store, this isn't a closable cap. Hey, I see some attack, and don't end up making it back. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad with their head.
Going to the bottom of inning number 5. Hawkeyes had to go ahead and run at third, but Bradley Klosterman could not knock Sujin Berry in. So bring up the top of the order for the Jacksonville Dolphins. Madison Braytech, Madison Reynolds, and Allison Braytech. Victor Anderson with you here from Jacksonville at the Pruitt Softball Complex.
The center fielder, number 6, Madison.
Devin Greer back to work. Been working solid so far in the circle. He's allowed a run on 4 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 3. Big cut there from Madison. Falls behind 0-2. We give you an update from baseball in just a moment, and it looks like there'll be another long night at the ballpark for the boys from Iowa City. We'll explain why in just a moment. The 0-2. Way outside, got away from Skyland Pogue. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Baseball led 6-0 after the first. Virginia has battled back, and we're tied up at 7-7 in the bottom of the 4th inning. John Evans, be caffeinated, and may the force be with you, sir. This is after baseball played 9:30 last night versus Auburn. Straightaway center. Baines tracks it in, comes up 3 steps, makes the catch, 1 down in the Dolphins' 5th.
The shortstop, number 3, Madison Reynolds.
So brings up the shortstop, Madison Reynolds. Reynolds tonight 0 for 2, lined out to third and struck out. This is low below the knees for ball 1. This is the silly season. When we drove into the Jacksonville campus this afternoon, they have basketball going on behind us. A Swisher Gymnasium had a doubleheader. Baseball just beyond the complex. They had a doubleheader today. Bunt laid down. Greer jumps on it quickly and gets it there to Torrey Bennett for out number 2. One thing that Devin Greer does very, very well, and we don't highlight enough, is her ability when they lay down those bunts that she feels her position so cleanly and efficiently. And you got experience with Torrey Bennett now at second and Sammy Diaz at first helping her out. So 2 down and brings up Allison Braytek. Braytek swings and misses 0-1. Allison brought home put the Dolphins ahead on an RBI single that brought home Madison in the bottom of the 3rd. Another lazy can of corn to shallow center for Grace Baines, and Devin Greer has her first 1, 2, 3 inning of the ball game. 5 innings in the books here at the Pruitt Softball Complex. Dolphins and Hawkeyes coming down to the final few pitches. Tied up at 1. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. Victor Anderson back with you from the Pruitt Softball Complex. You're listening to Iowa Softball on the Hawkeye Radio Network, coast to coast and around the world. Glad that you're spending your Saturday evening with us. Baines, Moss, Diaz coming up for the Hawkeyes, 5, 6, and 7. And Grace Baines will softly line out the short. 1 pitch, 1 down on the Hawkeyes 6.
The right fielder, number 6, Riley Moss.
Riley Moss to the plate, 2 for 2, pair of infield singles. Moss, that one goes in the outfield, and it'll be tracked down by Carter. So 2 down. Actually, that's Gabby Robles who's in the game in left field. So 2 down, here comes Sammy Diaz.
The first baseman, number 7, Sammy Diaz.
Diaz hacks the first pitch, that one's fouled back. Oh, 1 to Sammy, misses on the outside half. He was up to count on the ball and a strike. 2 away in the top of the 6th. Hawkeyes and Dolphins tied at 1-1. Dolphins trying to salvage a split on this Saturday evening. High on the top shelf, 2-1. Sammy tonight popped out to second and walked. Wagner looking over towards the Jacksonville dugout. Now the infield is on the same tune. Wagner gets the call from pitching coach Amanda Haverman. And everyone looks on their respective pitch card on the forearm. The 2-1 to Diaz. Drives that to center. Madison Braytech camps under it, makes the catch, and that ends the inning.
No runs for the Hawkeyes, bottom of 6.
So the Hawkeyes again go down in order. We'll head to the home 6. Still tied up at 1. This is Iowa softball from Learfield. No, ladies and gentlemen, we did not get magically transported over to Camp Randall Stadium from Florida. We are still in Jacksonville. We're in the bottom of the 6. Iowa and Jacksonville still tied up at 1. Victor Anderson here with you from the Pruitt Softball Complex. Jacksonville will have to harder their order due up Allison Carter, Carrie Holzricker, and Kaylee Harrigan. And right now, Devin Greer took a little long to come out of the Iowa dugout before she started in the bottom of the 6. Jacksonville got their run at the bottom of the 3rd. The Hawkeyes got the run back in the top of the 4th, and that's been all the scoring we've had so far this evening. At 7:04 Eastern Time, glad you're listening to us wherever you may be. Coast to coast and around the world here in the Hawkeye Sports Network from Duval County to Dallas County and all points in between. Glad you're with us on this Saturday evening. I'm Victor Anderson. Allison Carter takes strike 1.
Right. Okay. I just did a bunch of assumptions over here. Okay. That's where I was left. I just do it.
Carter bounced out to Diaz and walked her 2 plate appearances tonight. That's down 1 low. Counts as even on the ball and a strike. Iowa 1 run on 5 hits. 1 error. Dave left 6. Jacksonville 1 run on 4 hits. No errors. Dave left 5. Again, the scoring took place on Allison Braytech RBI single in the bottom of the 3rd and the fielder's choice in the Iowa 4th. High fly ball and foul ground. Obi Diaz there calling off Torrey Bennett. And I'll be out number 1 in the Jacksonville 6. So 1 down here for Kari Holzrichter. Holzrichter 0 for 2. Hopped in front of the righty box. Hawkeyes defensively have been strong. Deep to center. Baines will go back at the warning track. Will track it down. 2 away. for the Dolphins.
Now I'm calling.
So Kaylee Harrigan will come to the plate.
Baseman number 00, Kaylee Harrigan.
Harrigan wearing the 00. Harrigan has flown out twice, both times to right field. Goes ahead, 1 ball, no strikes. Greer has to be very careful. Harrigan has tremendous power in that bat. Don't let the 241 average fool you, folks. And she's ahead 2-0. That's probably the reasoning why you're seeing those pitches low and inside. Don't want to give anything above the knees that she can drive. 3-0.
All right, so here's another. Why do they go to the wrist speed instead of just standing? Is that running for the wrist?
Daisy Watterson on deck.
Curious.
And we'll likely see a pinch runner for Harrigan if and when she should reach. 3-1.
Just curious. It's my natural curiosity.
Outside for ball 4. So Harrigan does walk. And we will see an aforementioned pinch runner. That'll be Veronica Puckett. So Puckett to pinch run, and I'll be more on a visit in the circle to Devin Greer by pitching coach Mandy Carter-Colgate. Devin and Skyler having a nice little laugh with their pitching coach. Devin so far tonight, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts on 87 pitches. Wagner, 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 hits, an unearned run, 2 walks and a strikeout. And it looks like they're going to take out Devin Greer and Haley Down will come on. So Haley Down, the junior, will come on and keep this a 1-1 tie for Iowa.
Now pitching for the Hawkeyes, number 00, Haley Down.
Down has been used in a more of a relief role this year. Down is her 3rd appearance in relief. Has pitched 2 1/3. Has allowed an unearned run on 2 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. So an opportunity for Haley to do what Jaylee Ojo did in Game 1 versus Jacksonville in the late innings. Hold off the Dolphins and keep them at bay. Opponents are batting .222 against Haley in her 2 1/3 innings. Down does have a save this year that came versus NC. Does have a save this year in 2024. That came versus North Carolina Central, a game that the Hawkeyes were leading throughout. The Eagles climbed back into it late. Down had to come in, pitch the final inning, and picked up the final 5 outs. Picked up the final 2 outs to pick up that save
The third baseman,
over the MEAC
55,
champions.
Daisy Watterson.
So here's the situation. Daisy Watterson at the plate. Veronica Puckett, the pinch runner at first for Harrigan. 2 outs, home 6. Game tied at 1-1. Final numbers for Devin Greer, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. The best she could hope for is a no decision. Runner goes. Throw to second. Young had it, but again, the ball goes off the glove, and they'll have the stolen base. So now the go-ahead run stands in second. Watterson has reached base twice, once on an air, once on a single. And it's a strike, 2-1. This is outside, 3-1. Obviously, you don't want to walk Watterson to bring Point Bryant to the plate, but it would not be the worst situation because that will set up a force in any base. Although we do see Gabby Robles at the plate, I beg your pardon. Fouls that one off, 3-2. So Robles on deck and Point Bryant spot in the order. Inside, ball 4.
The left fielder, number 11, Gabby Robles.
So Robles with her first at-bat in game 2. Outside for ball 1. Haley down in relief of Devin Greer. Game tied at 1, bottom of the 6th. Dolphins with the go-ahead run at second. Tied inside, 2-0. And Skyland Poe will have a chat with her junior right-hander. Down being tasked to keep this game tied up for the Hawkeye bats in the 7th. They'll have an 8, 9, and 1 due up. And Bennett, Down, and Young. Shot back to Bennett. She'll get the tag at second, and that will end the inning. So they get the fielder's choice on the 4 unassisted, and that ends the inning. So the Hawkeyes are able to get their way out of the situation. Dolphins leave the go-ahead runs on base. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Still tied at 1. You're listening to Iowa Softball from Learfield.
Yeah, I was just hanging out, some little West Coast town. Found a bar out by the sand, so I made my way in. First thing that caught my eye, like nothing I ever seen. Sunburned auburn hair, a California dream. Yeah, she was shaking them hair. Some old Motown song, I couldn't say a thing, so I sang along. She was a heartache on the dance floor. Yeah, she moved into my mind. I gotta know her name, I gotta see her again. She got me wondering. Yeah, I'm just wondering where she is, where she is, where she is tonight. Where she is, where she is, where she is tonight.
Top of the 7th inning, tied up at 1, still in Jacksonville. Victor Anderson with you here on the Hawkeye Radio Network.
Second baseman number 1.
Tied in the 7th here in the softball diamond. Hawkeyes up 8-7 in the bottom of the 5th on the baseball diamond across the way. 15 minutes from our location across the bridge. 8-9-1 coming up. Bennett down, Young. TB swings at the first pitch, fouls out, one off. So the final line for Devin Greer, who will have to no decision, 5 2/3. 4 hits, a run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 87 pitches, 56 worth of strikes. So again, it will be Haley Down, who will be the pitcher of record for the time being. So roller bobble by short, and Bennett will reach to start off the 7th. Reynolds had a chance, but could not field that one clean. Reynolds will be tagged with the air. That is her 5th on the season. So now up comes Haley Down. Her first at-bat on 2024. And what a time for it to come for her. Down, tries to bunt, bunts it foul. Hey, for Haley, this is her 4th career at-bat as an Iowa Hawkeye. She's been used mainly as a pinch runner the first 2 seasons. For her career, she is 0 for 2 with the strikeout. Right now, just tasked to try and move Bennett over in scoring position and set up the top of the order for Young and Sujin Berry. Haley this time lays down the bunt. Hannigan only has 1 play to first. Bennett almost overran the bag. She nearly got into trouble in game 1, overrunning the bases. But Haley Down does her job well. The sacrifice puts Bennett in scoring position. And now the chess match continues. You got Jenna Young at the plate, Bennett at second. Young 0 for 3, got robbed of a base hit on a diving headfirst catch by Madison Reynolds in the 5th. That was a little flip, and I will drop into left field. Bennett will have to hold up at 3rd. Young with the first pitch swing, got it in the outfield, but not far enough to let Bennett try to come home. But the Hawkeyes are in business. Runners on the corners for the freshman, Sujin Berry. And Erica Ayers will have a meeting with her defense. Coach Renee Gillespie and Aridal Johnson will talk things over with the Hawkeye offense. 1st and 3rd, 1 down. Tied at 1, top of the 7th. Hawkeyes trying to go to 6 and 3 on the season. And pick up that 3rd straight win. Bennett reached on a fielding error from Reynolds to start the inning. Got moved over on the Haley Down sacrifice bunt. Jenna Young flipped a single to shallow left field. Bennett could only advance to 3rd. And now here comes Sujin Berry. Dolphins with the infielders in, looking to cut down TB at the plate. See, Coach Gillespie will put Young in motion to take out the force. As then Sujin swings through and misses, strike 1. Berry 0 for 2. Walked her last plate appearance. That came in the 5th. Freshies at the top 3rd of the Hawkeye order. This is up and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out on a 1-1 game here in the 7th. And number 11 at the plate for Iowa. Ground ball, that's going to go up the middle. The Hawkeyes will take the lead as Tori Bennett scores. The freshman Sujin Berry comes on through. And the Hawkeyes receive a Christmas gift in the form of a 2-1 lead.
The designated player, number 9.
I don't think I ever heard of a Jingle Bells remix in a softball version like we just heard from the Iowa Dugout about a few seconds ago, but it worked. Here comes another freshman, Devin Bowman. Bowman to right. And that ball gets dropped in right field. Young has to hold up at third. Young was going to advance to third if that ball would have been caught, but instead it gets dropped, and the bases are loaded for Briley Klosterman. A brutal circumstance for Jacksonville. The normally sure-handed right fielder, Holzricker, just dropped it. Bases loaded. Klosterman at the plate. Ball one. Hawkeyes again utilizing late inning magic. Sujin Berry's RBI single has given Iowa a 2-1 lead. The bases are loaded with Hawkeyes. 1 out. Klosterman at the plate, 0 for 3 tonight. That one goes over to Dolphins dugout. If you're Iowa in this situation, you cannot settle for just the 1 run here in the 7th inning. You gotta give Haley down some more wiggle room. Low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Jacksonville due up in their half of the 7th. We'll have 9-1-2. Kern, Madison Braytech, and Madison Reynolds. Hawkeyes up by the slimmest of margins, but they have the bases loaded. Bases full of freshman Hawkeyes, Young, Berry, and Bowman. Klosterman to left. Robles is there, makes the catch. Young will tag up. She will score. Berry will advance to third. Bowman goes to second. Ball gets misplayed. Berry scores. Bowman goes to third. And it's a 3-run 7th, and the Hawkeyes now lead 4-1. So Klosterman brings home Young from third. Then the throw from Robles got away. And by the time a Dolphin was able to corral that ball bouncing behind the backstop, Berry scores all the way from second. Bowman goes to third. 4-1 Iowa. And here comes Grace Baines. Baines takes it for strike 1.
No, you have to.
4-1 Hawkeyes. Baines at the plate, 0-1. Hits that to right. And that one is caught, and that ends the inning. But a pair of costly mistakes allow the Hawkeyes to score 3. Haley Down will go back to work 3 outs away from completing a Saturday sweep in Duval County. Hawkeyes 4, Dolphins 1. This is Iowa softball from Learfield.
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? But I remember Cotton Eye Joe. I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Bottom of the 7th inning. Haley Down in line to pick up the victory as the Hawkeyes once again coming through in the late innings. He got 4 in the 6th in game 1 of the doubleheader to win 5-3. They had 3 in the top of the 7th to take a 4-1 lead here in game number 2. Victor Anderson with you from the Pruitt Softball Complex. 9-1-2 up for the Dolphins.
23, Hallie Kern.
Hallie Kern, Madison Braytech, Madison Reynolds to the plate. Down outside for ball 1. Haley Down, who prior to this season had not made an appearance in the circle, was mainly used as a pinch runner. Picked up a save in her pitching debut versus North Carolina Central, and is 3 outs away from picking up her first collegiate victory. But it's behind 2-0 to Hallie Kern. That's a strike, makes it 2-1. Kern struck out in the 3rd, bounced out to 3rd into 4th. Paints the outside black of home plate, 2-2. Hawkeyes have already clinched a winning trip to the Sunshine State. Skyline Pogues wanted to get the call again for Manny Gardner-Colgate with the pitch comp. Up and inside, 3-2. Trying to go to 6-3 in the Sunshine State with 2 more games coming up tomorrow. So roller down. Throw goes wide. Thankfully, Bennett was backing up the play along with Moss. And the Dolphins get the leadoff runner on, and the Dolphin on the stick that made the rounds on No Context College softball earlier this season shows up here in the 7th. So Kern reaches, here comes and Jats Jones will pinch run.
Pitch running for the Dolphins, number 10, Jazz Jones. The center fielder, number 6, Madison Braytech.
Kern will rightly be awarded with the single. She wouldn't bat. She had that ball beat even if the throw was clean from down. Madison Braytech 2 for 3. Flew out to left her last time up. Gets a piece, and that one's fouled back towards the fencing and the netting. Hawkeyes 4, Dolphins 1. Bottom of the 7th. Dolphins trying to start a rally. Got an infield single and a pinch runner on at first and Jazz Jones. Swing and a miss. Down she goes to the first, and they can't get her. So now gets the strikeout of Madison Braytech. A big first out in the 7th inning, and they'll bring up Madison Reynolds.
The shortstop, number 3, Madison Reynolds.
That's low for ball 1. Paul gets away from Skyland Pogue, and now allow the runner to move over to second on the pass ball. Timeout call, and it looks like one of the umpires is sort of recovering. That's Christine Littlefell, who is our third base umpire. She's walking gingerly on that. Looks like a right leg. I think she was trying to run over to try and cover between second and third. I didn't really see what happened that caused her to come up limping. favoring that left leg, and Jacksonville trainer over there making sure that she's going to be all right. Now behind the third base side and take a little extra time, and she's going to gut this one out. Still bent over, now standing back up. Look like she's still trying to shake out some of that numbness in her right leg. Trying to stretch it out a little bit. It's 2-0 to count to Reynolds. Dolphins down by 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. And it's 3-0. And the last thing you need to do is bring up Allison Pratek to the plate as a potential tying run here. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Does not get that inside corner. And here comes Allison Pratek. And Mandy Gardner-Colgate will stroll out to the pitching circle. And this is why those 2 runs that Iowa scored after they took the lead were so important. Garner bringing in the entire infield and discussing how they're going to handle this situation. You got Allison Pratek, who we know can change the game with one swing at the plate. And this is where an injury to Littlefeld could come into play here. Because any bang play at third base, she'll be able to get there, but I don't know if she could get there with the normal quickness and be in a proper position. We shall see if it plays itself out that way. Oh, nice stop by Pogue. And fortunately, no Dolphins can advance. We sung the praises of Scotland so far tonight, keeping everything in front of her, not letting any runners advance except for that one pass ball. 2-0. If you're Haley down, you love to feed a ground ball to that middle of the infield if possible. 3-0. You got Allison Carter on deck. And now the bases are loaded. Down has walked. Now with back-to-back walks, and now the bases are loaded for Allison Carter.
Left fielder number 17, Allison Carter.
If you're down, it's all about getting outs here. Strike 1. Carter 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Hawkeyes down. Hawkeyes up 4-1. Lifted to straightaway center. Baines will track it down, makes the catch. Jones will tag. She scores, makes it 4-2. That's the exact situation you want if you're Iowa. Exchange the out for the run. So 2 down. And Holzrichter out to the plate. An opportunity for redemption. She dropped that fly ball in right field in the 7th to load the bases for the Hawkeyes. Strike 1. Remember, JU had the bases loaded in the 7th. When the Hawkeyes were up by 2, could have pushed anything across. Same situation here a few hours later. Down low for ball 1. Reynolds at second. Allison Braytek at first. Hawkeyes trying to hang on and get a sweep here in Jacksonville. Line to right. Moss comes under it. Slides in, makes the catch. And the Hawkeyes will once again say hello to victory. And Haley Down will say hello to victory for the first time in her Hawkeye career. The Hawkeyes had to hold off another 7th inning rally from the Dolphins. And Haley Down does just that. And the Hawkeyes pick up the win by the score of 4-2. Iowa with 4 runs, 7 hits on 1 error. The Hawkeyes end up being stranding 7. For Jacksonville, 2 runs on 5 hits. They have 5 errors. They end up stranding 9. Haley Down picks up her first collegiate victory as an Iowa Hawkeye. Ashley Skylar Wagner gets tagged with the loss. She falls to 1-4 on the season. So it'll be a victorious trip back to the hotel for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They are now 6-3 on the season and winners of 3 in a row. The Hawkeyes will end their trip to the Sunshine State tomorrow morning with a doubleheader at UNF. They'll take on Harvard at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and then North Florida approximately 30 minutes after that game comes to a conclusion. We'll have the pregame show at 9:50 Eastern Time to kind of reset what we saw last night. Hawkeyes thanking the fans who made their way here to Jacksonville. It will be a victorious trip back to the team hotel if all parties involved as the Hawkeyes pick up the win. Game 1, 5-3. Game 2, 4-2. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning over across the other side of the River City at 9:50 Eastern Time as the Hawkeyes finish up their trip to the Sunshine State with a pair versus Harvard and the Ospreys of North Florida. Full post-game recap coming up later tonight on HawkeyeSports.com. And now that you're done listening to my broadcast, listen to John Evans call the final 3 innings of a wild one across the bridge. Iowa up on Virginia 8-7. They just finished the top of the 6th. Tune over to John Evans to catch the final few innings on the Hawkeye Radio Network from 121 Financial Ballpark. So we'll wrap things up here from Jacksonville. Victor Anderson saying so long from the Pruitt Softball Complex. The Hawkeyes take 2 on a Saturday afternoon and evening, 5-3 Game 1 and 4-2 in Game 2. We will talk to you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Make sure you're properly caffeinated for breakfast with the Hawkeyes here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Until we talk to you tomorrow, this has been Victor Anderson signing off. You're listening to Iowa Softball coast to coast and around the world here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We will talk to you tomorrow morning. Until then, we say good night.